Hello good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today I am discussing with you the current state of the Tier 9 French battleship Alsace. As I'm sure most of you know, Alsace got nerfed in the last update, and I did have a video kind of showcasing the Alsace's nerf in the in Saturday's video. But I really never got to discuss it with you guys. You just got to see me discuss it in game with Savage Canadian. But now I want to talk about it with you guys and about my experiences with Alsace so far. So let's get right into it. So they nerfed the Alsace's reload and the Alsace's Sigma. They nerfed the base reload from 30 seconds to 32 seconds, and then they dropped the Sigma from 1.7 down to 1.6. Which made it seem like that big of a deal, but I'll get into it and explain to you guys why I think it's a pretty big deal what happened to the Alsace. So the Alsace, I didn't unlock the Alsace the second the French battleship line dropped. I went straight to the Republic so I could get a review out on it the same day as the French battleships came out. And Republic was my first high tier French battleship experience, except for the Richelieu, which I got in a one of those preview container things that they were doing before the French battleship tree dropped. So the Alsace, I went back later, probably I think like 3 weeks after the Republic. After I believe it was after the second impressions video of the Republic, which came out like a week or so after the first. No, it came out the next day. My bad. Either way, it was a week or so after the Republic review came out that I released my Alsace review, and that's when I really started playing Alsace, and I fell in love with the ship, and I started playing Alsace a lot. It was rivaling the Iowa as my go-to Tier 9 battleship for a while. And the strengths of the Alsace is it has 12 15-inch guns with good velocity, but even when it was released initially, its dispersion was pretty bad, and its main battery range was only 20 kilometers. But it had really strong secondaries, and it was a really fast battleship. However, it did only have 32mm armor all the way around, so it had very weak armor, which the armor can be trolly at times, but for most part, when you run to another battleship, if they aim anywhere near your middle section, you're going to take some pretty hefty amounts of damage from whatever ship fired at you. Whatever battleship fired at you, for that matter. Now, the main battery guns of the Alsace, like I said, they had bad dispersion, but you had 12 guns, which at Tier 9 12 guns, that's, no other battleship at Tier 9 has 12 guns. You get most of the 12 gun, well, all the 12 gun battleships at, hold up, all the 12 gun battleships are at Tier 10, except for the Lion and some of the, the lower tier crazy World War I designs with really small guns, and they have like freaking 6 or 7 turrets of them on there. But in terms of high tier, you only get them at Tier 10. So anyway, the problem with the Alsace is that it had bad dispersion, and it would overpin the crap out of cruisers. Alsace is just the latest in the battleships that I've been noticing can't really punish cruisers. Roma's another example of that. You can't punish broadside cruisers in Roma unless you're, well, even if you're close, you're just going to overpin their citadel, unless RNG smiles upon you. And this happened to Alsace too. You would overpin cruisers, and you would overpin the bow and stern sections of some battleships. And it only had a 20-kilometer range. A 20-kilometer max range on a Tier 9 battleship. That's not so good, but the Alsace was clearly meant to be a brawling battleship, and that's how I played it. She used to be she still is a pretty good brawler, but she used to be really good at brawling. She was fast. You could get all those 12 guns on target from close range. You just pump them right into your enemy citadel, and they'd bye bye. But this nerf, now I know 0.1 Sigma doesn't sound like a lot. Man, my chair's being real creaky today. Doesn't sound like a whole lot of a nerf, but when the Alsace already had bad dispersion, it's noticeable and infuriating at times, because if you go back and watch that video that I dropped on Saturday, I believe it was called, oh yeah, that's the I'm Famous video. I completely miss a broadside. Well, don't completely miss. I think 2 shells hit. Out of 12 shells, 2 shells hit a broadside curve first that was barely moving at 10 kilometers away. A broadside curve first. The largest ship in the game, the largest battleship in the game, 2 shells hit out of 12, and he was backing up, but he was going to move forward, so he was barely moving. Like, he was going maybe 4 knots. That I don't. It was a bad experience, and I've played it more since then, and that's not just some random RNG event. That it's happened to me since then. I just, like, honestly, if the reason they gave for nerfing the Alsace was that its damage output was outperforming in damage. You know what else is outperforming in damage right now? The Conqueror. It's outperforming in damage by a lot. It can burn a tier 10 battleship to the ground. If you get a competent Conqueror captain, they can burn a tier 10 battleship to the ground within the first couple minutes of the game. It's just, there's just no way around it. You can just throw HE at them. They'll put it out with their damage. They'll put out the fire with their damage control, and then 30 seconds later, you can sling another round of HE at them, set 2 more fires, 3 more fires, 4 more fires, and they can't do anything about it. They just burn to death. But the Alsace, it's outperforming a little bit, so we have to nerf the Sigma and the reload time, which I don't understand Wargaming's nerfs, because the Conqueror's outperforming. Oh, let's nerf the Hill and, give it an actual battleship detection range instead of cruiser detection range. But so they didn't address the problem with the Conqueror. That it's just an HE spammer flamethrower that's, in my opinion, completely unbalanced. But the Alsace, which isn't OP, it's got really thin armor. It eats HE all day, and by eats HE all day, I mean that it's got 32 millimeters of armor, so it just goes down under consistent HE fire. Like, you'll just die if there's Des Moines or Worcester or any of the HE spamming cruisers around that has a good position on you. You'll easily lose half your health to them by the time you can go around the corner. Now, yes, HE health is fully recoverable, but if you come under sustained HE fire, you're going to go down in Alsace. And it already had pretty bad dispersion, and it only has a 20 kilometer max range, which, like I've said before, at tier 9, you're kind of useless for the first 5-10 minutes of the game, because even at tier 9 and tier 10 battles, the first 5 or 10 minutes is just a staring contest at 20 kilometers until one team decides to push in or one team slips up. So I'm really unhappy with this Alsace nerf. I hope they come back and maybe if they want to keep the reload nerf, that's fine with me. 32 seconds reload, that's not that big of a deal to me, because you have adrenaline rush and there's other ways to get it down below 32 seconds. But the Sigma nerf, I know it doesn't sound like a lot on paper, but in game it's quite noticeable. And this is coming from someone who, I play the Grosso Curvers, that's my most played battleship, and it has horrible dispersion and a 20 kilometer max range. But it's just, I don't know what they were thinking when they did this, or if they were even thinking when they did this. Is it because more people were playing the Alsace than the Republic? I don't know. It's just a strange decision in my book, and I'm not happy with it. And it's taken a strong ship and just made it aggravating. It wasn't overpowered, it was strong, and now it's just aggravating to play, and I don't know if I'll be playing it too much anymore because of that. I mean, I'm still trying to get used to the new dispersion, so maybe once I get used to it, I won't be doing as bad as I'm doing now. I am way under in the amount of damage that I've been doing in Alsace before. And then again, that could also be because I was just getting really crappy teams, in the games that I've played today and yesterday. But this is just my initial impressions of the Alsace nerf. I don't like it. I definitely think they need to do something else to it besides the Sigma nerf. Maybe like I said, just keep the reload nerf, and I don't know. I really don't know, but to me, the Alsace was a non-problem, and now they've gone and try to fix something that wasn't broke. That's the best way I can sum this all up. So anyway, that's my views on that. I just wanted to get this out there, get my views on that out, because like I said, that video I released on Saturday, it kind of gave you my initial impression, but I didn't really get to express to you guys my opinion on it. So there's that. There's my opinion on that. So if you like the video, drop a like, leave a comment. Tell me, do you think the Alsace Nerf is bad? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's justified? Do you think it's unjustified? I'm genuinely interested in what you guys think about this. So yeah, leave a comment and subscribe. When I push to 300 subscribers, at the time of me recording this, we have 251 subscribers. You guys have been doing an amazing job of subscribing to the channel, and I guess some of you guys are sharing. Yeah, I know some of you guys are sharing it with your friends, so I greatly appreciate that. And again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next one.